This is our very special United Kingdom episode. This is the United Kingdom series of the Keith Andrew Network. For people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. To prove to them you can stem out to something. So hashtag break the labels. But the following is brought to you by get your ass out there and get vaccinated. So the sooner people get vaccinated, sooner things will go back to normal. But with that being said, we're going to have a special episode today. You know, Kate was on the show before. This is her second time. And we have Anne making her debut on the Keith Andrew Network. So it's going to be a very special episode. With that being said, let's jump right into it. So Anne, I will start off with you. Tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and the type of work that you do.
So my name's Anne Harrison and I work as a sign language interpreter. I work in colleges across Leeds in the UK. So I go into lessons and I sit in the teacher talks and I translate that into sign language for the deaf students in the class. I've been doing this job for 20 years. Yes, 20 years. And I've known Katie for 17 years. So I started working with Katie when she was 16 in college. So we've known each other for a very long time.
No, absolutely. Now, I'm going to ask you both the same questions, so I'll make it easier. So the first question is, I'm going to throw it out there. What is the biggest change you made in your acting career?
So I started acting, let me think, about 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago I started acting. But the biggest change I feel is making my own film. So my film's called
Need.
So the film's called Need a Sign.
Right.
And it's linked to deafness and being a deaf child and how communicating, learning sign language and the frustrations and the anger of that situation and the impact upon a child.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I'm saying I'm not like in the kissing your butt or anything, but I understand the whole frustration, and you are an inspiration of what you do. I just want to say thank you.
Okay. Yeah, it's yeah, I feel that it just has to be done. It's got to be shown out there.
No, absolutely. And now the questions, I'm going to pass it over to you, Anne, is what is the biggest change of helping people with disabilities? Has it changed your career or impacted your career?
I didn't quite catch that. So what's the biggest change to?
Oh, this question's for you. What is the biggest change you have made in your career?
In my career. Well, one of the biggest things for me is since I've been signing, I've always worked in colleges and worked for the council or a school. And one of the biggest changes I want to make is to be working for myself, but working in an area that's education, yes, but so that deaf people have access to different types of courses. So not the standard, the normal courses that the colleges run, but all of those courses on the internet, you know, the self-help courses, the learning meditation, the courses that develop and grow personal development. I want to be able to allow access for deaf people for those types of courses so that they can do anything that they want. They're not just stuck to English and maths.
I agree with you 100%. Now, the next question, it's for both of you, is how has the pandemic impacted your lives? And do you think it has gave you an opportunity to sit back and reflect and change anything in your lives? And that's for both of you.
Well, Katie feels really the biggest impact has been during COVID is no interpreters being provided on the TV for announcements and things like that. So I've really struggled to get information. So the hearing people have the information straight away from the television. And there's a variety of information, but deaf people, there's been nothing. And it's been a struggle, and it's been a worry, and made the whole situation, made me much more nervous and anxious through the situation. So I ended up taking the government to court because there were no interpreters on special announcements. And I just feel that it had to go to the next level. So we did a sponsored walk from I can't spell. So from Gloucester to London. So we did a walk from Gloucester to London. So it was a 14-day walk from Gloucester to London to campaign. And we were trying to persuade the government to provide interpreters, and they just kept ignoring us. So in the end, I took it to court, and we got the final court decision fairly recently, and we won the case for discrimination against deaf people.
Well, you can also say about people with disabilities as well as anti-discrimination.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So the next question I want to ask you is what do you consider the highlights of your careers?
So my writing have been the highlights of my career so far. So I've written 3 books, and I've just finished a collaboration on a 3rd book.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, writing those books were definitely highlights of my career. Yeah.
And what about yourself?
Me, highlights of my career. I was in a play once about mental health with my sister. It's a very long time ago, but I was the only actor in the group that was not a professional actor, and they all worked in the industry. And it was a beautiful process of creating the play, and then actually on the stage doing the play was amazing. And all of the proceeds went to Mind, so mental health charity, which was really great.
No, absolutely. Now, the next question I want to ask is, how do you feel about disabled people actually finally getting acting roles in big name movies?
Firstly, I'd just like to say congratulations to those people for achieving that.
Inspirational.
And I find it really inspirational. And it just gives the rest of the disabled community an example, a good example of what can be achieved. And it just allows you to feel like, don't give up, carry on. There's achievements to be made and there's possibilities.
I agree. Well, what about yourself?
Oh, disabled people in films and acting roles. I personally feel that if there's a role that requires a disabled person, then it should be a disabled person doing it, whatever. It should never be an able-bodied person. I don't really like that saying, but pretending to be disabled. If you need somebody who's blind, then find somebody who's blind. If you need somebody who's deaf, then, you know, there's plenty of people in the world. And yes, representation. Representation. I will march down the streets for representation.
It's perfect, because you look at Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad, he had RJ, who was a paraplegic. I think he was. And then he had the girl from King Kong versus Godzilla, who was deaf.
Yeah.
So the next question I want to ask both of you is, what is the best piece of advice you can give to people?
Dream big and aim high. And never give up. If there are barriers in your way, break them down. They can be broken. They can be circumnavigated. Remember your aims. You have everything you need inside you. You know how to work things out. You know how to do what you need to do. There's always things that you can try. If you have barriers, then and they feel insurmountable, ask for support. There will be people out there who can support you. There will be people who have ideas that maybe you've never thought of that can help you overcome those barriers. And you will, always think big. Big dreams. You'll be able to achieve them.
What about yourself?
So my advice to people is similar, very similar to Katie's. Remember your dreams. Remember your desires. Never give up on your desires. Every day is a new day. If it didn't work yesterday, we've always got tomorrow. Just keep going, keep going. Every day is a new day.
For me, there's a whole bunch of different expressions. One of them is from the TV show Suits. What do you do when you're up against the wall? Well, the only thing you do is knock the whole goddamn thing down. And the other expression is, I will be proud for, what was it? I will be proud of you if you aim high and miss, but I will be disappointed if he aim low and hit.
So I like the saying, life is life. Life is. Oh, she's got it tattooed on her arm. Oh, let's see. Live life without regret. And Katie has that permanently tattooed on her arm. So you can try and try and try. Never apologize. Never apologize for trying. The worst thing is not trying and failing, because you learn. Failing doesn't mean fail. It's not the end. It's a learning process.
Absolutely. Now, the next one I want to ask you is, well, it's about speaking, but I want to ask it anyway to see your reaction. How comfortable are you speaking / acting in front of a group of audience?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel comfortable. Yeah, comfortable, confident, no problem at all. But only if.
Question.
But so if it's so if it's scripted or rehearsed, then not a problem. But if it's instantaneous questions, back and forth questions and answers, I find that difficult.
No, absolutely. Now, the other question I want to ask you, and this is for both of you, how did becoming an actor shape you as a person?
So it's a bit different for me. So a long time ago, I was doing acting in the deaf centre with other deaf people, and that was fine. But when that collapsed, I couldn't find anything that I wanted to do, and I didn't feel confident going to a hearing group to do acting. But I knew that I really, really wanted to carry on with the acting, and I was then really unsure. So I just gave up on it, and I gave up on my dreams. I just thought it won't happen. And then when my vision started going, and I got my guide dog, the guide dog really gave me the confidence to start following my dreams and trying different things and trying things outside my comfort zone. So I went to a hearing acting school. So it wasn't at a school or a college, it was a private company that were running the acting school. And it was small groups. So there weren't many people in the class at a time. So I thought I'd try it, see what it was like. And I really felt that it built my confidence. Because of the small groups, it helped, but then as the groups got bigger, it did become difficult.
After 3 years with that.
So after about 3 years with that company, I ended up having to withdraw. but I moved to, so I had a 6-month break and then went to a different school. So again, small groups, and it was easy to progress. But again, the class sizes grew again, so I had to make the decision to struggle or to withdraw and do my own thing, which meant going and finding my own work, going looking for auditions, going finding films that might be interested in having me. And so I decided it would be better to go it alone, and that's been successful. So I've been going to auditions and things, and it's been really successful. So it's definitely built my confidence, and finding funding for interpreters and auditions and stuff. It's been really important for me because there is very little funding around. So finding funding for interpreters and having the confidence to go and find my own auditions and stuff has been great.
No, absolutely. Now, the same question for you, but change acting for disabilities.
Question was so long ago. What was the question again? Can I just clarify the question?
How comfortable are you speaking in front of a large group of people?
Oh, well, myself as me, Anne, sometimes not very comfortable. But if I'm doing a voiceover for somebody else, so like in this situation, when I'm voicing over the words of another person, I can be as confident and comfortable as anything, especially if it's scripted or I know what's coming and it's been discussed and everything before. But then there are times if I'm talking about a topic that I really love. So I love to do partner dancing. I do West Coast swing dancing. And if I was asked to stand and talk about partner dancing and how it makes you feel and things like that, yeah, I could wax lyrical for hours. I could be there chatting for hours because I'm passionate about it, and then it comes from your heart, doesn't it? But if you ask me to talk about car mechanics, I'd probably be really nervous. And so often it's easier when it's not me. So when I'm interpreting for somebody, it's much easier to have a nice, clear, strong voice and express really clearly.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I have a couple questions off the air, but I want you both of you to be completely, brutally honest. When I approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what made you say yes? How do you feel now, and where do you recommend it to people out there?
So the first part, I said yes because I feel the disabled community needs to get their voice out there. We need to be heard, and we need to share our knowledge and our experiences. And because it means that we're all learning from each other, and we're all building confidence together. The second part, So how I feel now, I feel really happy actually. I feel confident. I feel like it's our choice what we want to do and what we give each other. And I feel that we as a community and work together, that is really important for me. And I'm really happy that if other people get something and learn something from my experience. And the third part.
Yes.
Yes, I definitely recommend people coming on this show. Definitely.
And what about you?
Me, when I was asked if I would interpret for this, I said yes straight away. I said yes before I knew what it was about because it was Katie, and Katie asked me, can you interpret for me? And I was like, well, yes, of course. And then she explained to me what it was about, and then it's a definite hard yes, because same as Katie, voices need to be heard, stories need to be shared and told. And this is the perfect platform to do that. So how do I feel afterwards? I feel great. I feel really positive. And I feel empowered, actually. It feels positive. And yeah, you can see I'm bubbly. And would I recommend it? Definitely. Oh, definitely. I might be contacting a few people and telling them about you and telling them to find you and have a look at what you're doing, because this is fantastic work. So, yeah.
I appreciate that. And when we're wrapping up the show, now people can follow the Keith Andrew Network. We're available on Facebook.com. There's 2 accounts. You don't want the first one with the video. You want the second one with a solid background. So you go notification, and you'll be notified when brand new interviews are ready. Also, you go to YouTube, hit the notification icon. You'll be notified when brand new episodes and contents are available. And our Instagram names will be on the bottom of the screen. So make sure to like and to support each and every one of us, and especially our guests who took the time to be a guest on the talk show. But wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege to have me as a guest. I'll say thank you very much, and I really appreciate you taking the time. And until we meet again, I'll catch you later. Thank you, and have a good night.